Hello and welcome back to Anyone Can Code. Last time we saw how to initialize a variable in Python, what are the different types we can give to a variable, and what are the main arithmetic operations. I gave you 2 exercises to do. I'll be starting today's video by giving the solutions to these exercises. Today we'll tackle 2 very important topics, which are the input function that lets the user input a certain value directly into the terminal, and next is the print function. We've already seen it, but we'll go deeper into its different options. Let's get started. First things first, let's start by giving the solution to last time's exercises. If these are new to you, it means you haven't watched my previous video. I invite you to do so. And if you like my content so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It will help me a lot. The first exercise was about creating a Python program where you initialize 2 variables, length and width, and then calculate the area of a rectangle and output the area is equal to the result. We can start by initializing our first variable, which is the length. Let's say it's equal to 7, like in the example. And then we can initialize the width equal to 2. Now these 2 variables are integers. Next, what we can do is apply the multiplication and calculate the area that's equal to the length times the width. And to finish, we can output the result by using the print function and say the area is equal to, then we can exclude the variable area from the printing statement. Click on Ctrl S to save and hit run. Here we can see that we have the result we want. Now if we change the values, let's say here 10 and here 3, and then we run, we'll have the right area. Now, next exercise was about creating a Python code that converts Fahrenheit to Celsius degree. We can start by creating our variable called Fahrenheit. We can even copy it from here. We can then copy the formula of conversion here, and then we can output the result in Celsius degree, saying that Fahrenheit, so Fahrenheit is the variable, and this Fahrenheit is the unit, that's a string, we exclude Celsius, and then say Celsius degree. Hit save, hit run, and we have exactly what we want. Now, you can notice here that the result of Celsius degrees is a float variable and not an integer variable. What you can do if you insist on having this variable considered as an integer, you can do a conversion between different types in Python and say here int for integer of Celsius. And hit run. And here you see that the 0.0 was converted to 0. Now, be careful, the type conversion in Python doesn't always work. It works only when the conversion makes sense. Let's say we have a variable x equal to high, and we want to print the integer of x, and hit run. We will have an error saying that we cannot apply int to this variable. However, if x equals 3.2 and we hit run, we will have the integer part of 3.2, that is 3. Now next, if we have x that is equal to 5, we want to convert it to a float. We can say float of x, hit run, and then we'll have 5.0, which is the float version of 5. Another important thing is that even if x is a string, but that contains only digits, for example 8.7, we can still convert x to a float because the type conversion in Python is smart enough to notice that the content of the string is actually a number that can be seen as a float. Let us create a new Python file called course2.py, in which we're gonna code today's exercises. I want to start by giving you a first definition, which is the input function in Python. The input function is very simple. If we say that x equals input parenthesis and please enter your name, we can then print the value of x and hit run. You see now the terminal is asking me to input a certain value for the variable x. It's a way to make your Python code more user-friendly and let the user interact with you. So basically here I can say Anthony, hit enter, and Python will apply the second line and print the x variable that's actually my name. Now, a very important thing you need to notice that, let's say here we want a value of x, not necessarily my name. Hit run and say x equals 7. We hit enter and we actually have the output 7. However, if we also print the type of x, we will notice that even if we input here 7 and we hit enter, the 7 that's actually stored into the x variable is of type string. So it's not a number. To better illustrate what's going on here, if we say print x plus 1 and hit run, let's say x equals 7, it will give us an error because we're trying to do the addition between a string type variable and the number 1 that's an integer. So we cannot do additions between a string and an integer. What do we do in this case to transform x into an integer that we can manipulate as a number? What we can do is add around this input function the int statement that's gonna convert the content of the input function into an integer. So now let's just print x, hit run, say x equals 7, and here we can see that it's still outputted as 7, but now the type is an integer. To show the difference between the string type 7 and the integer type 7, we can here add a +1, hit run, input 7, and here you can see that 8 is outputted. That is the result of 7 plus 1. You can of course add many input statements. For example, you can create a variable called name and say name equals input, enter your name, and then age equals int, because it's okay for the name to be a string, and of course we want the name to be a string. However, we want the age to be an integer. So let's say age equals integer of input, enter your age. And we can here use the print statement to output my name is name and I am age years old. Let's hit run. So my name is Anthony and my age is 23. And you can see that the print function outputted my name is Anthony and I am 23 years old. The useful part here is that you can replace Anthony and 23 by any input you choose, and the print statement will still generalize to any value of name and age. Enough about the input function. I want to talk more about the print function. So one thing I didn't tell you in the print function is that instead of these double quotation marks, you can replace them all by simple quotation marks and hit run. I'm gonna re-put my name, my age, and the print function will still work the same. So actually you can here put either double quotation marks or simple quotation marks. Let's put these lines in comments for now and talk more in details about the print function. Let us print 3 plus 1 times 2. This is a string, so normally it will be printed as a string. You will not see the result here, only what's inside the string as it is. Now what happens if we remove the quotation marks and hit run? We can see that here we have the answer we want. So what's going on here? What's happening here is that the math priorities of the basic arithmetic operations are also applied in Python. Therefore, the multiplication happens before the addition. That means that the code does 1 times 2, replaces it by 2, and then does 3 plus 2, which is 5. Now, what if we want to apply 3 plus 1 before the times 2? What we can do is very simple. We can use parentheses to give the priority to the addition before the multiplication. It's exactly like we do in math. We can hit run, and it's a different result. So here the addition has been done before the multiplication. I want to now show you some options of the print function. Let's say I want to output the sentence, Python is cool. If we output it this way, nothing special will happen. We'll only have the sentence Python is cool. What we can do is add a \n at any point in the sentence, and this will create a line break at the position of the \n. So if we run now, we'll have Python we'll go back to the line and have this space and the is cool sentence that is outputted. Another option is the \t that's used as a tabulation. So \n for line break and \t for tabulation. And here you can see the extra space between Python and is. Another important thing I want you to know, let's say we're creating this string called Python is cool. What we can do, we can also output the length of the string. So how many characters are in this sentence. We can do this by using the len for length function and put our string into it, which is a variable called s. We can hit run, and here we'll see 15 because there are 15 characters in this sentence. Another cool thing about Python is that we can apply multiplication to the string type to multiply the occurrence of what's inside it. If we say we want to print this hashtag here, let's remove the length for now and only print s. Now here the hashtag is printed, nothing special is happening. We can now say s equals hashtag times 5. And then print this s variable, and you will see that the hashtag has been printed 5 times. Another major thing about the print function is the formatting option. Let's remove the comments from here. Let's take back this sentence. My name is variable name and I am age variable years old. Let's replace all the sentence by another one and start by the letter F for formatting. We can add the quotation marks. Now you'll see me use the double quotation marks and the simple quotation marks without distinguishing between both of them because they're exactly the same in Python. So what you can do here is say my name is and open braces here and put inside it my variable, in this case name, and I am braces age years old. The format option lets you slide variables into your print statement without having to use commas each time. It has the same effect as the comma exclusion from the string in the print function. Again, Anthony, 23, and we have the same result as before. Let's say we want to print another sentence. This is my channel. For now, I'll just replace name and age to avoid having to retype them each time I test it. We hit run, and here we have the two print statements. If we add a \n to this one here, we will have a line break between both of them. If we add a tabulation, we'll just have some extra space here. And the very important thing is that if we add the option comma and equals open close quotation marks, the two print statements will be glued to each other. It's like you're mentioning here that you don't want a line break after this print statement. You directly want to print the following statement on the same line as the first one. And here we have, my name is Anthony, I am 23 years old, the tabulation, and then this is my channel, all on the same line because of this comma and equals quotation marks. For next time, I want you to do 2 exercises. The first is to create a Python program that asks the user to enter their birth date and outputs the age of the user using formats. So using the F format as an option. For example, if birth date equals 2000, the code should output you are 23 years old. The second exercise is not mandatory. It's a bit towards the next level, and it's about creating a Python program that prints a rectangle made of the hashtag symbol. So here you have to use the print function and you have to use the comma and equals quotation marks option in the print function. Next time, I'll be giving the solution of these 2 exercises in the beginning of my video. Today we talked about the input function that lets you input a variable directly into the terminal. We also talked more in details about the print function and all its different options. I gave you 2 exercises to do, so try and do them. And if you have any questions, you can either leave a comment down below or contact me directly by email. Next time we'll tackle 3 very important things, which are the lists, the tuples, and more about the strings. So see you next time, and again, you have nothing to lose and a lot to learn.